from the jungle, and if you don't know me, I'm a hangry animal, and you know that I'm hungry.
Hello.
We got zebras, we got gorillas.
It's been a minute. Broke it. Lots of the game has been stripped apart, overhauled, redone. Yeah, just working my way through many kind of changes and iterations I wanted to kind of action and get done. So I just wanted to show a little bit of progress on that. Nothing is pretty, nothing looks like polished or the way I want it to look. Purely mechanics, and navigation of menus and stuff. Lots of things are still broke. There's plenty of implementation of systems, basically. So the menu system, the game system, the enemy system, the menus, how we interact with menus and bring those back and forth onto the screen. Stacks, stack count, food order, vendor manager, menu manager. Lots of different kind of pieces to the puzzle to pull together. But I think it's really start to take shape. I'm going to turn off my little moped motor, which sounds cool, but is quite annoying when you're trying to speak. So, but yeah, no, I've got some UniBot robots in residence, patrolling the area, and if you approach them and stuff, you've got this really cool death scene that I want to add. I want to add some little electrocution bits so they frazzle and die. Hello. There's another one, so I'm going to do a bomb. Some of them spawn stuff, not all of them do. So there's a tiered or hierarchy of spawning things. These green cubes are only available to pick up when you're actually on an active delivery. So meaning if you want to, you've got 30 seconds to go and start collect an item and a delivery before these pop and disappear off the screen. I wanted to do that to make sure that we had some sense of urgency. So I might put some timers, UI. There they go. They're disappearing now. I might put some UI timers on them so there's a little bit of a countdown that is an overlay in front of them, so you understand how much time you have left before they disappear. Boop, there it goes. So we're using obviously the 2-stick controller. If I use the right thumb, on this one to move it to the right, then I slide in my order receipt, so I understand what I need to pick up. So I need 2 pizzas. So still got lots of bobbling and lots of movement in the scene to dazzle your eyes. Got 2 pizzas. We need to go to Wolf Creek. The arrow will be more visual, and I will knock back a lot of the UI so it's not as in your face. We will be adding lots of traffic, lots of people, lots of buildings. I posted a 5-minute piece in Telegram and Discord the other day, and there was loads of buildings in there. You'll notice there's no longer any buildings because I broke it. It crashed. I lost pretty much a week's worth of development on it because of version control. So GitHub version control and Unity's own version control, which I can say categorically through experience is pap. It loses things you didn't think you were going to lose. So that's problematic, but I've put in some hard and fast rules of, feature development. Don't do too much at once. Focus on what we call a feature branch. So at the moment, I'm working on the menus, how we get to and from menus, the save states. So when I complete a shift, that it automatically saves that back to the database, or the the offline database, so that the next time we start a new shift, all of that is working well. I might not. Oh no, I've got a little bit of time added. Thank you very much. So I need a donut, pizza, and a burger. Strategy-wise, people will come to experiment and explore. I find stacking the larger items on the bottom is actually sensible because it gives you more stability, less wobble, less time for things to wobble about. So I'm doing that. Then we get our donuts, and then we get our burgers, and then everything stacks on top. But as you can see, tumbleweeds, that's what those orange rolling balls are. Tumbleweeds can knock stuff off your stack. I got way too many burgers, look. And being the burgers were the last items I put on, if I press the X key on the keyboard, I drop items. And that's going to be pretty much an important piece where the accuracy of your delivery, I think, is an important trait. So that's something I want to persist through gameplay, is you get rewarded for the more accurate you are, the less damage you provide to the items, and your timely delivery. If you look in like game mode here, you've got we press the drop button because I got rid of the burgers. All stacked items are reset because I actually reached the delivery point. We've got 77 points or dollars or pounds tip because the mood of the person who made the order is happy. So we got a nice happy customer. And then we save our state back to the save state, which is got a unique string. And then it saves that back to, we have an autosave slot. Need to look at that actually, why it's saving twice. And then we pause our game. So we're in a pause mode. And then I can either exit or I can continue to the next shift. What I'm in the middle of doing now is, when I continue to the next shift, make sure that everything gets cleaned up. So, meaning all of the vendor items that I had no longer exist. It's now a fresh slate. So all enemies now spawn again, but with more enemies. And what that means is I get a little bit of an opportunity at the start of each level to actually accelerate some of the challenges on the delivery side. So if you pick up items at the moment that are, and you arrive at those items where you're actually still in motion, so the vehicle still has velocity, then when items get attached to the vehicle, they go all wobbly because they're not attached safely. So it's a happy accident in a way, but it's something I think is quite quirky. So when I arrive at it, I want it to be just a very moving quite slowly in order to pick up the next item. So our arrow dictates that we're going to Jemima's den. And Jemima lives at the top of a hill. So off we go. But these are really interesting. These tumbleweeds, they get added to the level incrementally. More and more tumbleweeds get added. So you end up dodging them quite a lot because they can knock your food items off the top of the stack. So obviously we're in shift 2 now from a starting game. So I'm going to try and accelerate back towards where everything is. As you can see, I need jelly, pizza. I need all of them. At least all of the active vendors that I've created so far. And there will be loads more. And I might disable some vendors as you progress through the level because some of those vendors' items are quite easy. So going through the motions, picking up my stacked items. There we go, look, tumbleweed knocks it off. So what that does is it triggers the top item to fall. Depending on the velocity at which the tumbleweed hits, it drops 1, 2, 3 items off the top. And then we continue on our route. But what it has done is it's added a damaged value to whatever items are dropped. So now I can't get a perfect score because my items will arrive at my customer with mild damage on them. So if I accelerate through here and I go too fast, some of these items may fall off, and then equally they may have some damage to them as well. So, and we just continue on that path. It gets more complicated. We have items that are more challenging or are larger for the character to load. And when we're going uphill, I need to think of a way in which to make the uphill. You've got to go super, super slow or controlled when you're going uphill to avoid the overly wobbly stack and stuff. So lots to do, but I think it's coming together. If I pause, then I obviously can pause and return to the main menu and stuff, but I can continue into the game. One thing I need to block when we exit is the fact that our player controls are still active when I'm in a menu. So when I press to return from a menu, it's triggering the A button, which is the fire. So if I've got weapons, top right, below my health bar, if I have active weapons that I've stashed, then it's going to fire one of those weapons off. Right, let's see what have I got left. I just have to get 2 items of jelly. That's super wobbly now. I'll probably add to the UI some form of like wobble meter, to help the player realize how close they are to dropping items or toppling items. I don't know. I think it may be really useful to do so. You notice that we don't have many UniBot enemies in the scene. I think they're all hovering somewhere. Pretty sure there are enemies because my enemy manager. Let's just pause what we've got here. My enemy manager. Yeah, we've got some enemies. Where are they? Where are they existing? Looks like they've fallen through the bottom of our level. Is this the same for all of them? Yeah. Some stacked on each other. Oh, we've got 2 together. 2 buddies. 3 buddies. 4 buddies. They seem to be gravitating towards each other as friends. Let's get the UniBot out of there. Yeah, he's fine. Here's another one. Yes, they are maneuvering around the level, but looking like they're, you can see them all up in the corner, just gravitating in the distance, gravitating towards the one point. I'm gonna go and say hello. See what it is. Yeah, so see the transition between the flat and the elevation. If I hit it too hard, then boom, it pops the food items off. So you've got to really be considerate about how you tackle the level. I dropped it rather than pressed fire. I need to also raise the bar in terms of the angle to which I fire the Choctagon treats off. That's too low at the moment, and it just seems to be firing at the ground. So that's going to need some updates. The other thing on my plate to look at is giving some sort of benefit to jumping and spinning in the air at the moment. It was just an experiment to sort of leap and then spin to cause some tricks. So what I want to implement is, if you have no health or you've destroyed all the bots, there's no ability for you to accumulate extra score or extra health. Performing tricks may be an idea of how we can recoup and rejuvenate some energy. I've showed this before, but this is like a bomb. I don't know why, but it's the graphic part of it disappears when I move too far, so I've got to update and fix that. But it has its uses because there's going to be a challenge where there's a mystery package, and a mystery package pickup could be some extra perk, extra weapon, or it could be a bomb. So I'm just trying the bomb, have it attached to the player. If you attach the package, then have additional items above that package, then effectively that bomb is going to explode and destroy all of the food package items above where it was stacked. Maybe one item below, I don't know. So, yeah. Lots of little things like that to play with. Let's exit to the menu. And then we will see if we continue. Very messy at the moment in terms of continuing a previous save, but it's the only way I'm able to organize them at the moment before I apply the look, the styling, the look. That seems to be broken there already. Can't go back. If I've gone next, I can't select previous in order to then advance back to the main one. So that goes on my bug list. But anyway, I think it's coming. It's coming along. You know, I'm fitting in some of this development work as and when I can. It's it's not like full on. It's very much in between anything else, and I'm just super keen to keep that momentum up and not simply fall behind now. I'm up at 6:30 a.m. in the morning in the UK, and then we do have agency stuff to work on for active clients and that. So what I end up doing is 6:30 till 8:30 is tackling some brief task that I know I want to achieve on the game, and then switching to get all the day's stuff done. But all in all, it's coming along, and I'm just chipping away at these systems. Player, menu, enemy, food types, food orders, save data, restore session data, all of these things. There's quite a hefty amount of things that you need to consider, and people say start with a small game. Yeah, maybe for some, but my mindset at the moment is build something that you would love to play, and I'm definitely doing that, aligned with the brand of Hangry and everything that we have plans to build around. Comics is still in flow, in development. Got the second issue inked, and I want to hand that over to a colorist as soon as I can. Need a bit more cash to do that. And then we got this huge platform development idea that's taking shape as well, which will bring some potential investment into it. So all in all, things are moving in the right direction. We have to strike a balance, got to pay the bills, and got to keep on chipping away at what we're doing. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for sticking around. Hope you enjoy the direction that things are going. There's lots more to add, and I want lots more input from the community when I get the chance. I'm not as active as I used to be, and that's just how things have unfolded, really. Busy times, but I've never gone away. I've never faded or killed the project or decided, you know what, that's it, I'm walking away from it. I'm not that kind of person. I might be quiet, but there's just too many other things going on to sort of juggle everything at the same time. So ensure we're striking a balance, ensure we are enjoying the journey as well, and keep on building. There we go. Happy Friday. Hope you enjoyed the update and see where things are going. There will be more color and more visual delight as soon as I can, but I really, really want to make sure that the systems are in place, before we start messing about with anything too polished or pretty. Done it before, and I think that's a failure of myself to get that stuff finalized and jump ahead too quickly. So, patience, it's a virtue, and I'm definitely listening to that. Cool. See you in the next one.
I run the jungle, and if you don't know me, I'm a hangry animal, and you know that I'm